Hi there! In today's video I am tasting wagyu meat for the first time in my life, and I'm trying to avoid destroying the meat in a fire of fat. But first let's set fire to the intro. Today I'm going to make a different type of video. I'm going to do a bit of cooking. I was at the supermarket and I went past the meat section, didn't intend to buy anything. But today they had this Australian wagyu. It's insanely expensive and I've never tasted it, so I figured it could be fun to make a steak with this. And so I bought some of it, and that's actually what I'm going to do today. For a side dish, I am probably going to have some potatoes here. Going to make French potatoes, French fries rather, sort of, but in the oven. And I'm going to try to put peanut oil on them. I haven't done that before. I want to see if I can taste that. And then I want my gorgonzola sauce, which is awesome. So for that I'm going to need onions like this, and of course some gorgonzola. I'm taking the dolce, so it's not as sharp in the taste of it, and of course some heavy cream, and I'm going to need some butter for the onions when I'm preparing those. Usually I would drink red wine like Zinfandel or something like that, but I'm going to have a lot of red wine tomorrow, I know that, so I'm going to have a beer instead, a Christmas beer even. I don't know if I like this one, but I'll try that as well. And yeah, there's nothing else to do but pour some beer and get in the kitchen and get started. So this is what it looks like when we have it out of the plastic. I will say that my local butcher, she usually removes a bit of the fat, not all of it, because there's a lot of taste in the fat, but she removes a bit of it, and so I'm not paying for fat but more for meat, and this is expensive meat. So people usually say that this should go on the grill at room temperature. Some people say, hey, no, it should be ice cold, but I seem to have the most luck with room temperature. So I'm going to put this on a plate, and while I prepare everything else, this is probably the thinnest I would make them, and depending on where you live in the world, this this might seem like a lot, but and in other places it seems like a little or thin one, but any thinner than this, I think they are getting too dry and too hard to make them really juicy and tender on the grill. So yeah, but let's get started on the potatoes. Now I'm trying to make some sort of French fries, although as I said, I'm going to make them in the oven because I don't have a deep fryer, and I don't want one because then I think I would use it all the time, and I don't need any more fat in my life. So right, so they're usually easy to make if you can cut them all the same size, because now I'm just going to boil them in some water to get some of the starch and stuff like that out of them. So they usually get more crisp when I start doing that. And I would need a bit of salt for that as well. You know what? I actually think I'm going to put them in the big one over here. Yeah. Going to put this one. So I can use this one for something else. Change of plans. Okay, so I'm going to cook this not too long. If they get too much, they are going to get too soft, and I can't put them in the oven afterwards. So try to avoid that. Well, this is probably around now where I should go out and fire up the old Broil King. So let's head out to the garden. Just want to make sure the potatoes aren't getting too much. No, not done yet. While the grill is warming up, let's get started with the onions for my gorgonzola sauce. So yeah. I think I don't need any more than that. So these just need to be cut into onion rings. You don't need to, dice them into little squares or whatever. So now I'm going to take a look at the potatoes again. Really have to be careful about those. Yeah, done. I'm going to put the potatoes on the piece of paper here so I can put it in the oven. And into the oven they go. There's some cleanup work involved after this. So I think they look just about right now, so I've turned down the heat. So someone would probably ask, how much are you going to put in here? Well, it's a 38% cream here. You can use lighter, but it doesn't taste as good. So that feels right. So and regarding to how much gorgonzola I'm going to put in, well, that's it's a matter of taste. You know how much do you like it? If you love the taste of gorgonzola, put in some more by all means. But it's not health food. I think we can all agree on that. So I'm going to turn it down to a low simmer, and it's probably going to be reduced somewhat, and I'm just adding some pepper. And a pinch of salt. Be careful with the salt because the gorgonzola has sort of a salty taste to it, so just take a little bit of salt and then do some tastings. I'm going to put this in the fridge and I'm going to let this sit here for a while. I'm guessing I'm going to give this a minute and a half times 4, so a minute and a half and then turn it, and then a minute and a half and turn it, and a minute and a half and turn it, and a minute and a half and turn it. Just the right temperature. Yeah, it's a bit too much fire. Yeah. The onion did start a fire, so yeah. Let's put it over here instead. Well, the temperature is spot on. So this is it. So I'm just going to try a bit of it without salt and pepper. Ooh. Excess fat here. Yeah, it looks pretty okay. Yeah. What you just saw were recorded a few weeks ago, and I got a chance to taste the wagyu meat again and do a comparison between my favorite meat, which is a ribeye from corn-fed Black Angus from Greater Omaha. And I'm sorry to say, but I actually prefer the Black Angus, at least to this specific brand of wagyu meat. I do know it wasn't a ribeye, but a ribeye wouldn't make up for it still. I think it lacks some of the taste that I enjoy in the corn-fed Black Angus cattle. So it did have a unique texture, and eating it and chewing it, it's a different experience. It feels like it melts in your mouth and something like that, but it almost becomes too much for an entire steak. So perhaps also I should serve it differently if I were to have it again. It's interesting to try, but in the long run, I don't think the experience is worth the extreme high price compared to the cheap, air quotes, cheaper Black Angus meat. Yeah, perhaps I should try the original Japanese style or something like that. That might be it. So it has been the only type of wagyu meat I've tasted. Oh yeah. Regarding the oil or fat for the potatoes, use duck fat. That's the answer. So yeah, that's all I have for today. This was a bit improvised, and I do apologize for that, but I just wanted to add this to the end of the video to make it more complete and honest. Have fun on the interwebs.